And then, okay,
Let's
I think
talk about that.
we're live. Okay,
We're
we're
live.
live. Woohoo! Again. So
Party
this is
time.
our third Facebook Live today. And I have to frankly tell you, if someone's sick of seeing me on Facebook and they're being inundated with videos, I'm not being disrespectful right here when I say I don't care. Don't watch it. And I say that because there are so many people suffering in silence right now, and so many people that are going to social media. Ashley just shared with me in my last Facebook
Mhm.
Live that screen time, because she's a big marketing mogul, works with like Scott Danzig and like these big,
Yeah.
huge names, right? And all these other names of people I don't know about. And she said screen time's gone from 20% to 50%. It's up.
Wow.
So, what
Wow.
does that tell you? You should be out in social
Let them
media
consume it.
no matter what, right? And then what happens is the consumers get to filter what they want to watch,
Yeah.
what they want to hear, what they want to listen to. So I say, just like Jenna Rodriguez, who's with me today, she's been called to be a leader. If you have been called to be a leader, it's time for you to step up. And I call it holding the lamp. It's dark times. Be a light
Yes,
leader,
be a light.
attract other people, be the light, share advice for free, stay out in front of the masses and help. Help your community, share anything you can share that will help someone get through the next 24 hours. And I think the best advice I heard this morning was stop watching the news.
Yeah.
Like it's so negative. But I say, you can get on to anything online one time a day, find out all the information that was downloaded that day from the White House, from your local, congressmen and reps, which you need to know both to prepare you for the next 24 hours. So don't be ignorant, but
Yeah.
you don't need to sit and flow it through your home all day
Right.
either,
Turn that off.
right?
Turn that stuff off.
So Jenna, you're in LA. So
Yeah.
just like my last guest, totally, totally like lockdown,
Yeah. Yeah.
different than
And,
Arizona.
and yet I still see people driving, and I'm like,
What
I'm like, where are you going? Where are you going? I
Yeah.
know where you're going, but
You better be going to the grocery store because you better work at the grocery store.
or you can just drive around in your car, and then you're not doing anything. You're not
Yeah.
getting out and whatever. So it is very strange and very interesting times by all means. And you're right. I 100% agree what you said. It's like, I think us not showing up is totally more about us, and then taking away the freedom of choice for someone to watch you or not watch you, I think is the disservice if you don't show up, if you don't lead, right? And so,
Yeah.
I'm going live probably a couple times a day. I've already done a couple recordings. I went live in my groups. I went and did another interview with someone else, and then here I am with you, all in one day. And so, you're not going to consume everything that's out there. You never are. Like that's a true statement, no matter what. Right. And so yet if you are showing up and you're leading and you have something that can help and you have something to say, then I think it's imperative that you follow that calling, right? Follow that
Yes.
calling.
Yeah, because I had some yoga instructors and people that were laid off or aren't,
Sure.
they're not teaching at the gym, and they're like, well, there's just so many.
They're what?
Them. I was like, well, then why did they even come to your class to begin with,
Yeah,
right? So they came to your class. What does that tell you? They like you.
that's right.
So Jenna can't be me. I can't be her. We both have our own podcast and we
Right.
both interview, right? But we're so different because we're two different people.
Yeah.
So you're going to attract specific people. I'm going to attract specific people based on who we are. And that's what makes us so unique and brilliant is that if you just step into authentically who you are and not ask the permission of anyone. I didn't ask anyone's permission if I
Right.
could do this. I just did it. And
Yeah.
I said, I'm bringing these experts forward because somebody like Jenna Rodriguez can share with you what she's seen in her world, how she's helping her clients, which I think is important and we really need to talk about. What are the biggest factors that you've seen for clients that you coach and those that you lead? What are their biggest, what's coming up for them as a
Yeah.
blockage or a hurdle? And how have you been able to get them over that? And what kind of message can you, send to the
For sure.
masses? Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, clearly, number one, for those new to me, I'm a transformational mentor, and I help you master emotions, help you master your
Who
emotions.
can do that,
And
right?
here we are. So,
Who can master emotions, especially in women?
and
That has got to be impossible.
really hard job. And I mean, I'm having to, practice mine every single day,
Yes.
right? Every single minute. I mean, even just 5 minutes ago. So it's an ongoing lifetime adventure, but in that space, I speak to the fact that awareness is number one. Like if we're not aware of what I call the ego and false self, it's what it's doing to try to keep us really safe and uncertainty, which is not available right now. There's a lot of uncertainty, and the truth is, it's never really available. It's just really amplified right now.
Right. It's
It's just
not
blown
really
up.
available because you have
Yes.
no idea what's happening tomorrow in an unprecedented time or a non-unprecedented
Not
time.
a normal day.
So you have
Whatever
to
that is.
create your own certainty,
Yeah.
don't you? It's just
Yes.
what we have to do. I
Yes.
love that message. That's great, Jenna. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, and thank you for anchoring that, because I think the falsehood is that we think there is some level of certainty, and certainty is what I know human beings are wired to go search for, right? And so yeah, and I know that's a normal 100% of us are doing that. However, in order to be more masterful at or increase your emotional intelligence around it, is to just be aware and understand your behaviors and understand how your egoic mind works. And so I actually talk to my clients about 14 ego tricks, right? I've identified 14 ego tricks that really are signals that there's something deeper going on. And when you can recognize some of those tricks that I call them, then you've got your awareness, then you've got the recognition, then you have something that you can go look at, because otherwise we're just walking around really unconscious about it and behaving and reacting, and that's, I think, the biggest thing that's happening right now is we're a couple weeks ago now, I mean, geez, it's already been 2 weeks of when our lockdown started to kind of roll out, and then there's been levels of it. There's like, okay, you can do this, well, now it's like, no, you can't even do that. Like it's getting,
you cannot go to the beach,
cannot go to the dog park or the the trail or whatever. So and honestly, personally, I'm not totally in disagreement. I feel like we kind of have to, like, let's just hunker down for a period of time, and it won't maybe take us.
Everybody, please.
Yeah.
Let's just lock it down. And then 2 weeks from now, we can just get back. Yes. Because this little bits by bits, people still out and gathering. I'm like, you're like, how much longer do I have to be locked down? Because your ass is out there hanging out somewhere, socializing with other people, and bars are still open and gyms are still open. It's like, no, go shut them all down. Let's just get this over with and all support each other. And go back to work.
Make it quick.
Yeah.
Put the Band-Aid off.
I agree. I agree. Tip number 1, stay the F home.
Stay home. Hashtag stay home.
Hashtag.
So, I mean, we're all doing it. So it's, so anyway, I just help people, and what I'm teaching or, advising, I'm not even, it's not about teaching, it's mentoring people, is to come back to that lesson, to know that our egoic mind, fear being one of the ego tricks, right? Fear. And then how can I call it, the HW3 is the other ego trick, which is how, what, when, where.
Oh, yes.
And so if we are in that trick, right, we're trying to figure it out. We're trying to fix the problem. We're trying to get certainty about when it's going to be fixed and when it's going to get all done and over with. And then we're constantly in this mind spin around that, and it's resistance. So fear is a resistance. There's resistance underneath. And so, so I'm just helping them. Obviously, it's just amplified right now. So wherever their fears are coming up, wherever their thoughts are leading them or not leading them, maybe they're in shutdown, or maybe they're in, they're in avoidance of some sort, then we're looking at what is the source of that. Because if anything, this is a huge opportunity for personal development and personal growth.
Huge.
like never before. And it's
Yeah.
interesting because I'm writing the book on it, is a couple, like January, before I knew this was going to happen, I wrote this down in my journal, and I was like, oh wow, I am here to help have an emotional revolution, and more importantly an emotional evolution, and be a part of that movement. And I was like, here we are at a global level, is the huge opportunity to really uncover the sources of our angst and of our triggers and of our inability to, to like really move into our zone of genius. A lot of people talk about, right?
Yeah.
And I think this is the game. You either get on the field, or you're going to sit on the bench and, watch it pass by. And I think this is a great opportunity for us to actually do the really internal work that will change your life if you allow it. And
absolutely.
so that's what I'm helping people with as much as I can, is just getting out there and number one, there's hope inside of that. If you have the awareness, if you have the emotional wherewithal to go, wow, this is what's going on for me, right? Not what's going on for everybody else and what they're doing and what they're not doing, and stop judging everybody. Right.
Yeah,
and
we're a judgment-free zone. We don't judge at Lead Up for Women.
Amen.
It just doesn't even exist.
Love that. Right. And judgment is a part of another ego trick as well. It's because we're trying to stay away from something that we don't want to look at inside. And so the more
what does that tell you? What does that tell you? Let's mirror and reverse that.
Yes.
If somebody's judging you, what's happening with them?
That's right.
They have things that they can't face that they're
That's
projecting onto you. So what does that mean?
Yeah.
Their insecurities are being projected on you. So I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks back on you. So true. If someone's judging you, it doesn't matter, because it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
Ever.
Exactly. Ever.
I love that. And when you can believe that in your mind, then you're like, hell yeah, I can show up as me in every situation, because it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks.
That's
you can
right.
judge me all day long. It does not change the way I do things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the deflection response.
Ownership.
Is what do you think about me, right? Like worrying about what people think.
Yeah.
And 100% judgment is a sign. If you're judging yourself, self-judgment.
Yeah.
Right? Just as much as if you're judging someone else and thinking they're doing it the wrong way, or you have an expectation around how they should do it, right? It's like, it's really an opportunity to go, okay, what is it that I need to look at? Yeah. And so that is the conversation I'm really trying to build up, and giving them, giving people like ideas around how to dissolve the fear, how to dissolve the judgment, how to, dissolve the HW3, the need to figure it all out, because, it's not to say that we aren't problem solvers. I'm not saying don't stand up and say, okay, how can I, right? How can I move forward? However, when you get stuck in the spin, the mental spin of, I can't figure it out and I don't know what to do, and like that confusion will just cycle you, kind of spiral you down.
Downward spiral.
Forward. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So when you say lead up, I think it is a matter of like problem solve. However, if you're attached to anything, it all comes down to attachment. If you're attached to anything, and if you feel the resistance of it, then that's a place to go inward and start to do the work.
I just thought of something. Okay. What?
Yes.
So you know how like the trend out there right now is, oh my gosh, we're doing spring cleaning. We're cleaning out our closets. We're cleaning out. Okay. How about y'all start unpacking some of your own luggage and your own baggage?
Yes, spring cleaning.
Right? Spring cleaning. So now is the time that we should be working on problem solving, working on fear, working on ego, working on
100%.
Breaking through these disbeliefs and these labels that we've put on ourselves, and maybe others have put on you, and this baggage is heavy that you're carrying around. So what other time is the complete world gonna stop for you to unpack your baggage and focus on you? Like, I've been preaching this, girl, for like
Yeah.
ever. It's huge for lead up for women, like self-care. And some people are
Yeah.
like, yeah, I don't have time for self-care. Well, I didn't for a long time either. And let me just tell you that that led to a lot of complications that I had because I wasn't taking care of myself. There's a reason why they tell you to put your mask on first and then worry about everybody else in the plane.
Right.
I mean, legit. There's a reason for that.
There is a reason.
There's a reason why you need to focus on yourself, because if you don't focus on here, by the way, I'd like to let everyone know on a big secret. If something's going wrong in your business, look in the mirror. Something's going
100%.
wrong in your relationship, look in the mirror. And it took me a long time, a lot of therapy, everything, to look back at my marriages and go, I did a lot of blaming.
Yes.
And I was the one
Judgment.
common denominator in that.
Yeah.
And it was my fault.
Yeah.
But admitting that it's your fault, and then, but it's in the past, so I can't change it. And it really doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. I've resolved what I needed to resolve, so I can let it go and move on with my life. Doesn't make me egotistical or rude or disrespectful. Oh no, I've apologized to the people I needed to apologize.
Forgiveness of self and others.
Forgiveness, self and others. Now I've moved on. So I don't have to carry it with me anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's
100%.
gone. And kind of like when, you know, and I use the example of, might be a good one for some people, a little tidbit. If you have fears, write them out. I mean, take a notebook, write. I want you to write for 5 minutes. This is an exercise I do, 5 minutes, because if you only write for 2, you're not deep enough. You write for 3 or 4, you're getting in there. When you hit 5, you should be crying. These are fears of your deepest fears.
Yep.
Fears. And then walk out back, because you can't leave anywhere. Light it on fire. Watch all your fears burn. I don't care if it's 2-3 pages. And then get a hose and wash it down, and you will not even see one speck of anything left from those fears. And how quickly we can create them is how quickly they can disappear.
That's right. We're making them up anyway.
Yes.
It's past projection with future tripping. Like we're just taking our imagination and our assumptions and our what ifs and our worries. And I love that you said that process, because it actually leads into my 7-step detachment process, which can get rid of all the 14 ego tricks, including fear. And it is absolutely. And I need to add the burn part.
I'll teach you.
I love that.
It's one of the things we do at the sanctuary events. And it was a nighttime fear burning ritual, and everyone loved it because you physically see, they didn't know what to expect, but you physically watch it burn. And when you physically watch, like, everything that you have in your head that's so real to you just burn so easily, you're like, they can just be gone that easily. And then I always say, turn around now and turn those fears into gratitudes, and actually write down, you know, seeds of truth and plant them for the future. You are smart, girl. You have a lot of steps. I mean, I love what you offer with these 14 ego tricks on how to gain control and 7, steps of detachment.
And you can have it. It's a freebie. It's a free worksheet. You can have it.
Well, then let's do that. I think what we should do is let's put it in the comments section for everyone to have access to that. If you want to lead them to your website where they can download it for free. 100%. You guys, if you want to learn now and you want to clean out a closet, clean out this self closet and start getting rid, I mean, there should be like moths and all kinds of stuff going, right? Like there's all kinds of stuff going on. And I think right now, this is what happens with what's happening in the world. And you probably agree with this. I'm not a therapist. This is just personal stuff that I've seen happen with me and other people. If you've not dealt with something in the past, and when we have something like what's happening now, you might not understand why, like a volcano, everything's starting to come to the surface and erupt, and you have no idea what set it off. Well, what set it off is what's happening now in this uncertain time, fear, panic, which I always say, replace the panic with possibilities. And it's okay to pause. Let's deal with what's erupting, unpack it, get rid of it. Let's move on.
Well, and I think that's part of it, is that people, and I caution people to go clean all the closets and go get really, really busy, because and I'm not saying make space for that in your day, but it's also something that the ego can do to go get in avoidance It's like, I don't want to deal with this. I don't need to look at the fact the world is completely changed in a matter of 3 weeks. I don't want to look. And then what you don't want to look at is not the circumstances outside. It's the circumstances or the beliefs and expectations and limitations and attachments inside. And so clean the closet, but yes, spring clean here just as much. And I love that. So.
Hey, Jena, mention to everyone what your podcast is and how they can, hop on and just start listening to some of the advice and interviews that you have on there. For
sure. It's called the Brave Entrepreneur Podcast. And it's really about storytelling and how people have really been brave masters in their life and all of that. And you can go to iTunes. It's in iTunes, as well as video on my YouTube channel under Jena Rodriguez, or you can go to thebravepodcast.com and it'll link you there. So I'll put all that in the
Perfect.
Notes.
Okay, so there's no excuse for any of you watching this why you wouldn't want to reach out to Jena for free, like legit for free. And I know she would offer consultation.
You can have a call if you need a real help.
Let's just see if you need the help. Maybe you just think you do, but you don't. And she said, hey, these 7 steps, let me just start you with that. And why don't you work through that? And then once you get through that, if you still feel like you need me, we can work through it. So, I'm so thankful that I have all of you as experts to come on here and offer the community such wonderful free advice and helping all of us navigate through this new time. It's a new reality, but we'll get through it, and we're all going to get through it together because we always do. And you don't have to just survive. You don't have to feel like, everyone there. It's not, I don't know one person out there that isn't feeling it in some way, shape, or form. Someone might be feeling it financially. Someone might be feeling it like through family and not being connected with family or grandparents. Some might be feeling it through their job or disconnection of people that they work with. Everyone's feeling it. So there's no judgment or judging others of how they're feeling it. Just acknowledge that as humanity, we still need to continue to love, spread love, be there as a community, keep getting out on social media and sharing videos any way that you want to, because you just do you, man.
Yeah, just do you.
And don't worry about it.
This is a huge identity pivot that's going on in the world, and it is rolling. It's like it's triggering that identity that we have been so used to. And so just know that I'm offering complimentary pivot calls. So I'll put a link for that. And, if you want to have a conversation of like, this is what I'm up to, and this is what I'm up against, then I can just give you some guidance. And I want to just leave people with this thought. I wrote this down. Is when it looks like the tornado of life, which we're in, is taking the house down, it's simply showing us what our foundation is made of. So become something more. Right? Become something more.
I love that. I think you should type that in the comments.
Oh, okay. Okay, I will.
Seriously.
Yeah.
It's just like
we're just
so
in a little
good
tornado.
For people to read it.
Yeah.
It is. So what foundation are you built on?
That's right.
And if your business isn't strong right now, I suggest that you work on the foundation, which is usually ourselves.
Which is here.
Which is usually ourselves.
The businesses can be rebuilt.
Right. And the reason why you need to do that is because this isn't the first and it will not be the last.
That's right.
So how do you thrive through the next recessional period that we have, through the next global pandemic that we have? How can you thrive and not barely be scratching to survive? Yeah.
And I think that is, I know, we have to kind of just move through and do the best that we are and the best that we can where we are. But I think like these conversations, like, thank you so much for just doing this. And this is I'm telling people, that's the other advice, is curate your positivity daily. Like, so go to bed listening to something, calm. I mean, I'm meditating 3 times a day. Like, get quiet. Stillness can be the biggest productivity tool ever. And I know I ran into it yesterday where I was like, oh, who am I if I'm not busy? Right. And that one rocked me. I was like, I'm still looking at that question. Because right.
I get it, girl. I get it. So I think you've just hit on something very important, which is it's okay to make space for you to do something else and to pause. And I think that's one of the most important things. How can you hear any
Yes,
messages
100%.
being delivered to you if you're constantly busy?
If you're
You need
cleaning
to
the
get out of
closets all day.
here and you need to drop to here.
Yeah.
You do. This is where we make a lot of decisions and try and fight uphill battles.
This is where the answers are.
These are where the answers are.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
Agreed.
so perfect, Jenna.
I love you.
So great. Somehow we are really aligned.
I mean, I'm so glad we crossed paths. This is so good. Yes.
All right. Well, I know you guys have been watching for a freaking half hour. Thank you so much for being with us. We love you. And go find all of Jenna's information in the links below. And she's just a freaking awesome girl. And I love her so much. And thank you so much for being with us today, Jenna. You rock.
Thank you, Colleen. So good to know you.
Thanks, girlie.
Bye.
Bye.